"You, friend, are smarter than the average fool we bring to this place," he said with difficulty. I set my jaw. "I'm leaving this place. I know what happened a week ago. Now tell me what really goes on here." Valentine made a rough sound. "As you wish. What I told you about our history that morning was, in fact, true. Though there were a few things I left out to keep you under my control. Those two cousins who founded the town are closer to us than you think. One of them was my great-grandfather, and the other was yours. Medicine was no longer working to remove the sickness. And my ancestor, the great visionary that he was, decided to turn to other means of treatment. He found an old book amongst what he had discovered while traveling, which outlined how to give praise to an ancient figure, the Great Mother. In exchange for a human life, the Great Mother would save another. We soon began using this to save the community. However, your great-grandfather, blinded to reality by his moral beliefs, left the village. Just before the birth of his child, he made a promise to Dylus, the brother and polar opposite of the Great Mother, a figure of morality and justice, that his bloodline would be forever devoted to ending our order. This whole situation has been our effort to remove the one human who can harm us and end the bloodline once and for all." I shook my head at his story and asked, "So all of this was planned? How much of this is a plan? How long have you people been trying to harm me?" I shall get to that in a moment, but here is a secret you will find noteworthy. Normally, someone of your blood could cause a member of our order with a presence as dark as mine to fall with a single touch. I took this into account when dealing with you. I have been nullifying your ability with the one thing that weakens it: human flesh and blood. I went pale at Valentine's statement. He began to make rough sounds again. "That's right, friend. I have personally slipped a bit of human remains into each of your meals since you got here. You never even knew. Oh, your ancestors would be proud of you." Little did he know, I hadn't eaten in days. I reached out and grasped Valentine's wrist. Gripping down, I felt a texture similar to squeezing raw meat. The large man roared as droplets of liquefied flesh dripped onto the floor. I apparently still had some ability. He roared with pain and anger. I continued to twist and pull with my grip. I felt unsettling sensations. Suddenly, I jerked with all my might and held on to Valentine's severed hand as the rest of him fell to the ground. Valentine clutched his injured arm. "I see you figured out my trick. Clever man you are. No matter. You will not leave this place alive. I will see to that." I shouted to him, "You will never harm me, you monster. As soon as I escape, I'm taking Margaret and getting as far from town as we can. You will never be able to find us." Valentine began his rough-sounding laughter again. "You will never be safe, friend. Even when you think you are most protected, we will be there, watching you. We will never forget. Not even with that young woman of yours. Are you safe? Wait until you hear that tale. Surely you noticed how your emotions became disrupted when you were close to here. You should know we took the freedom of turning her into a tool of sorts. We altered her thinking to force you into awakening the ancient blood in your veins in order to drive you apart into the arms of the Circle. She was one of the most useful tools in our plan. She was such a naive young woman. What a fool! And attractive too. I lost control. I threw myself at my captor once again, and, pressing my boot into his chest, I wrapped my hands around his horns and began to pull. Valentine screamed with pain as I pulled at the mask. I felt each attachment give way as I wrenched upward. The large man began to flail his hand and arm at my body, but every contact with my skin resulted in a feeling like punching a hot surface. With one last strong pull, I tore the last attachment, and I threw the head covering against the wall, resulting in a splatter of blood. Valentine's body flailed and I ran to the door. His injured face twisted as he cried into the air. "I swear it. Robert Elm, you will never escape the hand of the Black Circle. You will meet your end by my hand." I looked at what I had done. "We will see, friend." I quickly ran down the staircase and out of the silent house. My legs ached from the fight with the large man, but I ignored the pain and ran across the grass as fast as I could. As I passed by the great hall, I could hear sounds of distress. I made a quick sound at the reaction to what I had caused. "I'll never see that being again," I muttered. I hurried myself to the concrete shack at the edge of the property. I figured now was as good a time as any to see if I could get into that mysterious building. Halfway through the field, I turned to see hooded men with torches beginning their search for me. I quickened my pace. I was able to reach the unlocked door while the search party went off to investigate the barn and tool shed, taking advantage of my moment of safety. I slowly slid the door open and saw an unremarkable sight. The room was dimly lit by a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. Several barrels stood around the corners and walls. A workbench was fastened to the wall next to another large metal door at the end of the room. Just as I started investigating the room, I heard footsteps from behind the second door. My heart skipped a beat, and I had no choice but to hide in one of the barrels. I slid back the lid and was met with a terrible smell that caused me to gag. Reluctantly, I climbed into what felt like thick, unpleasant liquid and held my breath.